I want to touch on something you said about getting the just you want to give yourself an opportunity, and you may not always um, uh, get a scholarship right out the gate. But be rest assured, because they ask you to come walk on, that still means something. If they ask you to come walk on, because they don't want to waste their time with just anybody, and they're not just going to give that walk on opportunity to anybody. Now sometimes they give that opportunity to a lot of athletes who have very good grades and are good football players. Because I got a young man that's going to Oklahoma on a PWO, preferred walk on opportunity, and he's getting 15,000 a year in academic scholarship money. Wow. He got accepted in every school he applied for, and he didn't apply to no little bitty schools. He got accepted in every school, and that's probably almost 8 to 12 schools that he was seriously wanting to try to hopefully get a scholarship offer from, scholarship opportunity. And Oklahoma started reaching out to him saying, "Hey, when they got word that he had gotten 15,000 a year in academic money because of his GPA," and that's what we try to tell these students. Some of y'all may not be getting scholarships. You may be good enough to get a scholarship for football, but if your GPA wasn't where it needed to be, that's why I tell you, if you can stay at a 2.8 or above 3.0, really a 3.0 or better, you're going to give yourself a chance. And so, like you said, it's about what you do when you get that opportunity to hopefully earn a scholarship at that program that gave you a preferred walk-on opportunity. But he's going to to University of Oklahoma, right? So that's a pretty big deal to be asked to come walk on at a SEC school, and like you said, you got to get in that grind. Let me just say welcome to my folks on YouTube and my Facebook. We're live on IG. Coach Smith 27 with my big brother, my oldest brother. My other brother who came in town is downstairs trying to find him some more grub. He didn't. So he's down there doing that. He'll be up here in a second. So I'm live. This is Coach Smith with Love the Game 24/7 on YouTube, and I'm live on Facebook, and I'm on IG with my big brother. We're here talking about who we got, but we were just chopping it up on IG live on Coach Smith 27. Just talking about the things that are happening for girls in sports, in the Olympic sports, and opportunities to get scholarships eventually to colleges, and with flag football eventually coming because it's grown huge in Florida. It's already here in North Carolina where I'm located, and it's growing. It's an Olympic sport now. So when it moves to an Olympic sport, more than likely it's going to move to a college sport where they offer some sort of scholarship money. You right, and like you mentioned, beach volleyball. I know some girls at the university where I work. Some are playing both, and some are playing just one of the two. There's some that's playing beach volleyball scholarship. There's some that's playing, your regular indoor volleyball, and there's a few girls that are doing both, taking advantage of both, probably to get that scholarship money because they're getting a little bit of money in both sports. They help them pay for that education, and then they might be getting a little bit of academic money because they had a high GPA. However, you can figure it out to get that bill down to where your parents can afford it, or you can afford it, or maybe put some, if you get some grant aid and all those kinds of things, is a huge help too. But like you said, Pat, it's what you do with the opportunity. To whom much is given, much is required, right? And so that grind requires a lot, and if you're not willing to put that grind in, then, and to give yourself an opportunity. But that's why I said, like I was asking you, you got to start at that middle school age, like I did little Jeff to get. I took him to Florida. You've been to some college camps. You know how it is. Some of these kids hurt themselves because they're not well prepared to run that 40-yard dash because they don't have a good start or they don't do good in the short shuttle. Those things are put there to disqualify kids because they want to find the kids who are ready, who are developed, that they're really looking at trying to recruit. So what's your
they're trying to get kids, like you said, that are already developed.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, like you can't go to a showcase or a camp and you haven't been working out doing any drills or anything. It's
beforehand?
like don't waste your time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't waste your time on camp, or anything like that if you haven't been training. Like you got to train for the vertical jump. You got to train for standing
broad jump. Right.
You know,
yeah.
gotta train for those things, and that requires extra time. And it's like I ask kids all the time, what are you doing extra that we're not requiring you to do here at practice? You got to do stuff on your own. If you're going to play both ways, then you need to do extra conditioning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want to play both ways, then like during the summertime, the wintertime, you got to lift hard because you're playing both ways. You got to be in shape. You got to be strong. You got to have that strength level built up.
Hold that thought. Can you hear my? Can you
do extra work?
Let me hold it. Can you hear my theme song? Tell me you can hear my theme song. I forgot to play my theme song. Hold on a second. Tell me if you hear my theme song. Can you hear my theme song?
Yes.
I'll be around. Smith, I'll be around to help you with your recruitment. That's my theme. That's one of my theme songs before I kick my show. So I forgot. You can hear my theme. Yeah. Because we from the South, and that's how we roll. But Coach, it's different. So I just need to make sure I play that little theme song with CeeLo. I'll be around. Timberland, because that's how we roll in the South. Like they said, if your mama takes you that front door open, you're gonna get your behind to work. And when the street lights come on, we trying to hit it before the street lights come get cut off. But I just want to give y'all a little bit of that theme song, Smith, because I'm gonna be around and try to help y'all young folks get these scholarship opportunities to give you the edge. See, here's the other thing. You brought up a good point where I discussed this recently. Tell me your thoughts on this. And I know you probably gonna have something to say about it. This is what I broke down recently. This is what makes up any kind of team. I don't care if it's male sports or male or female sports. I don't care what sport it is. It's four types of players that make up a team: good players, really good players, great players, and really great players. And most of the people who are fighting for most of the scholarships are the good and really good players. That pot of people is more them than it is great and really great players. Because you only come by this type of player only come around every 10 or 20 years or something like that, or but you might have some good and really good players that might have the ability to be great if they're willing to put their work in, like what you said. Don't waste your time going to a showcase. All right, y'all hear me out there on YouTube and Facebook and on my IG. Give me my big brother who's coached for quite a long time. I got 12 years in myself. He probably has about 20 plus years of coaching high school sports and helping kids. And so we were just discussing about how you got to put that grind in. You got to show the good and really good players what you just said. You got to show what makes you different. And the young man that got that preferred walk-on at University of Oklahoma at SEC school, you know how he showed himself different? He had a 3.7 GPA, 3.7, 3.8 GPA that could play football. They got $15,000 in academic money they don't have to worry about spending right now. That's how he showed he was different. And when you show that you can do that kind of stuff, they know, hey, he's responsible, right? He or she is responsible. I ain't got to stay behind them to get stuff done because he already knows or she already knows how to get that work done. They're disciplined. So that's how. I don't know if you agree. What do you say about that? Do you co-sign that what makes up the four type of players are good, really good, great, and really great, and the bulk of the scholarships are being fought for by those good and really good players?
You've got those four types of players, but let's be honest, you're looking for a kid who not only has talent, but they don't mind working hard.
Exactly.
So they don't mind working hard not only on the field, they don't mind working hard in the classroom. And coaches are looking for those guys. Like, let's be honest, if we're being honest and having a conversation, these coaches are looking at you for what you can bring to the table and you can do to make this team better. Because you know why? Not only do they want to compete and what's going on,
Yeah.
they also, their livelihood, the way that they feed their families, are about how well can they recruit.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's why you see 3-star guys still make it Division One. You know what I'm saying? See 3-star guys, 4-star guys.
And you're gonna have some 2 stars in there. You're gonna have some 2 stars in there also.
Yes. And those guys end up developing. Why do they develop? Because they don't mind working hard. They don't mind putting in the extra time. It's like coaches aren't looking for guys who just want to work the practices here. They want guys to be working on their own.
Competing.
High school, college, or pros. You're looking for guys who are going to work hard outside normal realms or the normal practice guidelines.
Right.
Who's working extra.
Right.
That's the kind of thing you want a self-motivated kid.
Right. You gotta be a kid, and as parents, you gotta help set your kids up. That's why I say you gotta start early at a young age with them, right? You gotta start when they're in middle school, because you gotta teach them about how to compete. First of all, you gotta compete against yourself first to get up in the morning, right? When you don't want to get up, right? That's part of your competing. It ain't always that person, that girl or that guy that you got to compete against first. You better compete against yourself first, right? And you got to look at, okay, where am I at with my times, right? Because now I got to compete within myself and get training, and I got to get in that weight room. See, I ain't just got to get on the field throwing the football or this or that or doing like foot drills. I better get in that weight room and get my muscles bigger, stronger, and faster. There's a right way to lift, right? There's an appropriate way to lift during the season. There's a right way to lift during your off season to get you prepared and ready. And if you're not disciplined and willing to make the sacrifices that you need to, because that's what's going to set you apart. Like you said, these coaches' livelihoods are on the line. This is how they feed their families, and they can't just bring anybody to the table. And you're not that worker bee, right? You're not that. That's why I said, most of the scholarships are being given to, that are being competed for are with the good and really good players. That's where most of the scholarships are being battled for. Those people, those girls, those guys. And if you don't figure out how to set yourself apart, what makes you split, because man, like I said, you don't even have the 2.8, not let alone the 3.0. You don't even have the 2.8 GPA for me to even get you in the door. So some coaches like, unless you one of them really good players, like we said, one of them really great players. Oh, now they're gonna make a sacrifice because they know I'm gonna eat with this kind of player, with this kind of baller coming in. They love the game 24/7. Like I said, they love that game. They love that working out part. And I've shared with people. It's not about being perfect. It's about being excellent. See, when you try to be perfect, there's no room for mistakes, and you get frustrated easy. But when you do things in excellence, you learn from your mistakes, right? That's what excellence is. That's what I was shared on one of my podcasts not too long ago. Excellence is I learn from my mistakes and I don't do it again, right? It's okay to make a mistake, but I need to learn from that mistake. When I'm trying to be a perfectionist, you trying not to make mistakes. No, if you don't make mistakes, and I used to share with people. I would tell my kids the first day of practice on Monday, hey, let's make all the mistakes we're gonna make, and then come Tuesday, I better not see them same mistakes you did on Monday, on Tuesday, because we should be getting better. And it's on me as a coach to remind you, to help keep that in your head and that mentality that, okay, coach is cool with me on making mistakes on Monday, but come Tuesday we better clean it up. Definitely come Wednesday we should be close to what we want to be like on Friday nights when them lights come on, because Thursday is a walkthrough, right? Thursday is a walkthrough. We ain't really putting on no pads, right? So come Wednesday, you better know your assignment. When we do this, the last day of full pad practices and all that stuff. So Wednesday, we better be having this thing cleaned up for real. You're right. And then we're gonna walk through some things and make sure we got it in our head what's going on when I call certain plays. What unit when I call this unit, you're supposed to be on this unit, right?
Right.
I shouldn't have to.
That's really where you have to pay attention. If you're on the bomb squad, if you're on the punt team, or you're on the punt team only on this formation, this particular formation, you got to be paying attention, because you're not going to get a second chance, at running that play correctly.
Right.
So like you just Yeah, you gotta
Right.
be grinding it out.
Right. And the only way you're gonna do that, like you said, another thing I tell people is like you mentioned about going to these showcase camps and and you didn't really prepare weeks in advance,
Yeah,
getting your start down, that's where, like you said, you gotta go, you gotta dedicate, it's called repetition. You gotta repeat. I was just sharing with somebody on my podcast, and I had a guest that was on there asking a question about how you stand out. And I said, well, before you be concerned about standing out at the showcase camp, how much how much time did you put in, grinding before that showcase camp came up, right? So you can stand out and get the attention of the college coaches. You got to go,
right.
it's repetition, 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 right? And I said, a lot of kids don't be outside like we used to be outside, but there are some kids who do spend some time outside like we did, but not as many. But if you're trying to make a impactful moment when you go to the showcase, you got to put like, so many reps in that 40-yard dash, working your time. I tell kids, hey, you want to grow your social media, take your phone out there to the field so you can post, or show what kind of work you're doing. And then you can also take it back and go look at yourself and see what kind of, corrections you need to make on your start and all those different things you need to do. But if you don't repeat and repeat and repeat these things for weeks in advance, because by the time you get to the showcase, it should be second nature to you, right? It should be
Correct.
reaction. It shouldn't be something you should be thinking about. It should just be something you do because you did it so much before going to
Yeah,
that showcase, right?
no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah,
You gotta put in proper the proper practice time, the
preparation. Yeah,
proper time to continue to make your game better. You just got to always be working on that. You got to always be thinking about the middle part of your game. You have to be thinking about those things because let's be honest, and I know there's one scholarship out there for whatever, and how many kids do you think are going after that one scholarship?
exactly. Yeah,
A lot, right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. They're gonna come and they're gonna watch you. You know, they're gonna come and watch you in every sport that you play if you're worthwhile to them.
right,
They're going to come out. So you got to always be conducting yourself in a way that's going to make people draw towards you and to make you become valuable. You have to be valuable in order for people to come and seek you out. It's not as easy as you think, but if you put some work in, you can find some place to go.
right,
You can find some place.
right.
Might not be Division One, might not be the old 1AA. It might be Division 3. It might be Division 2, NAIA. How much do you love the game?
Right.
Depending on how much you love the game, you can work it out.
Yeah.
And find somewhere to play.
Dion was just on First Take yesterday, with Stephen A. and Cam Newton, and that's one thing he mentioned. He was saying when he recruit kids, I want to know how much you love. That's a good segue to let the folks know on March 29th you're gonna be down. You're gonna come up here with you and my other big brother that's sitting over there eating that ice cream right now, chilling. They just landed. To help these kids with their skills development before this camp on March 29th is to help them learn and know what they need to do before they go to these ranking camps and these showcase camps at these colleges. That's what we're trying to do with this camp. So it's going to be up here in the Wilmington area. Space is going to be limited, so you better sign up early, folks. March 29th. I got it. I put it in the chat. Love the game 247.com. That's my website. You can get registered and sign up. My big brother is planning to get both of them up here to help me with this camp, to help you showcase the guys. Talk a little bit about something like that and how important something like this is, big bro, to have something like that for kids.
No, it is important. As much as you can get out there and you can put yourself out there where you can compete, because that's what you want. You just want to be able to get out there and compete. Yeah. So when you're able to go to a showcase, you're able to go to a camp, where you can compete against others, you know what I'm saying, in like positions, like it's worth $1 million. You got to be able to. Let me add this. A lot of kids and parents need to at some point in time look at it and say, hey, I just need you to be the best high school player you can be. Don't put pressure on yourself to have to get a scholarship. No,
Right.
be the high school player you can be. Enjoy what the coaches give you to do. You may be asked to play a position you never played before.
Right.
Sometimes you got to open yourself up to go into another position, and just playing. Because look, if you're good, it's gonna show up.
Right.
If you have a love for the game, if you just love the game, a coach comes and he's looking at your homeboy, but he sees you out there playing, you're long snapping, you're on kickoff, you're on kick return.
Yeah.
You're on 3-4 different, squads. You're just like out there to play. And they ask, hey, what position does this kid generally really play?
Yeah.
Well, he wants to play running back, but we got older running backs that, a little bit more developed than him. And so he was willing to go play defensive end. He was willing, to play Mike linebacker. Like,
right.
Coaches are looking for kids who are willing to give of themselves totally and devote themselves to the program. So don't always think like, man, I got to play to get a scholarship. No, man, just enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself in your time in high school and be the best kid you can be for your team. The best kid, one of the best kids I ever had. Actually, the best kids I've ever had, whether we're talking about a kid that's a 3-star, a 4-star, I don't care where I play. I just want to play and help the team out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that's and I tell that coach, I tell that college,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be like, wow, this kid's a team player. I need this kid. I don't know. You may get to college and you may be asked to play a totally different position, and you got to be open to doing that. So the best kids, man, they don't want to leave the field.
Yeah,
they do not.
Yeah.
And where you put me at? You got me playing twiddlywinks. I got you. Whatever you need to do, coach.
Yeah.
Whatever you need to do, I'm there for the team. And it's like, and then it'll work out for you.
Yeah.
It'll work out.
Yeah.
Just be the best high school player you can be.
And that's what I've said myself as well. You got to compete against yourself first. Go back and look at film and watch yourself and see what you can do, do to improve upon. Right. You know what I mean? And so, like you said, if you don't want to put no extra pressure on yourself, just go out there and ball out, have fun, enjoy it. These coaches are already tweeting and stuff on Twitter about the 26 and 27 kids already. I remember when I was at Clearwater Central Catholic, I think Coach Harvey is a guest on. I think he's on there. I may need to invite him on here and let him do some talking as well. He was on here last year with me doing my first radio role for the Super Bowl. But like you said, man, it's just, compete against yourself first. Go back and watch film. Looking at film of yourself is one of the best tools that you can use to help you develop and improve your game. Is if you go back and watch and study film of yourself and see what can I do better? What did I miss?
That's what the best do, right?
Yeah, that's what the best do. Yeah, they go watch film.
Hey, we're not talking about the regular best. We're talking about the very best. Somebody like Ray Lewis, Joe Burrow, Ed Reed. I know some of those names are old, but the guys who are at the top of their game are always going back and self-evaluating. They're always self-evaluating and seeing what they can do better. You're a receiver. Man, the first thing you got to do besides catching the ball is be able to block on the perimeter. Guess what? If you can block on the perimeter, you're going to get a chance to play. Yeah. Yeah. That's the dirty stuff of the game that people don't think about. If you're on somebody's basketball team and you love to rebound, and you love to defend, you know how to box out, you know the intricacies of the game, you know how to play off your man and be off towards the ball and step in and take a charge. Those are the things looking for. A lot of people are super talented. Physically. But how talented are you mentally? Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Yeah, so man, I definitely appreciate you jumping on, Coach.
who's coached football for quite some time as well. Like you're doing now, you coach a few sports, so you kind of know what you talked about. You talked to many college recruiters that have come through and ask about kids that you were at where were you at
So I've been to several different schools. George Jenkins in Lakeland,
yeah,
Kathleen High School in Lakeland.
Winter Haven.
High School in Orlando.
Winter Haven, Winter Haven.
Just a few different schools, around, and it's like, let me tell you, and I've been a part of some programs that didn't win a lot of football games, but coaches are still interested in good kids who know how to tough it out when their teams aren't that good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, that's when you stand out, on a team that may not be doing that well, winning that many games, but you're a selfless kid, and so being said, it's like I've been very, very, very blessed to have coached football, girls and boys basketball, girls and boys track, girls and boys weightlifting.
Yeah.
It's like you can't. It's like, how can I say it? It's like an honor, to be a good high school coach and know your craft, know your kids. You're gonna make some mistakes in evaluating kids and knowing who can help you out, but through it all, you got to pay attention to your craft and know it very, very well. And you got to know your kids well and know what they can and can't do. Kid, don't just look at the kid and say, oh man, that kid can't do this, or this kid is first year out playing football or baskeball. But man, sometimes kids just surprise you. They shock you on the things that they can do. So yes, I have been very, very blessed to be at several different programs, and I'm at Tenor Rock now in Lakeland, and we've not been very good in some sports. We're just getting better
because we want to be sure we focus on kids and give them the attention that they need. So we're not trying to have it, too full. So don't be that Johnny come lately and miss your opportunity, to get some coaching up, right, from some coaches that know what they're talking about, been there and done that. I'm hoping to get this thing down in Florida too, down there with Harvard at CCC. I'm gonna put him on the spot. Hopefully he'll join me, here in a little bit and get on and see what he has to say if he's still on. I need to hit him up. Coach Harvard, I saw you join us. You still on here? Hit me up in the chat. Let me know if you're still alive and kicking. Because one thing before we get off here, Pat, man, who you got for the game? Who you got for the Super Bowl? Let's talk some of that Super Bowl. Matter of fact, first, I said this earlier today. I can already smell the grills smoking, boy, back home, getting ready for Super Bowl meal. I know what time it is. I know Friday was fish fry time. And Saturday right now, because of Super Bowl, everybody, smoking those grills, man, and getting stuff ready for this Super Bowl party. So who you got for the Super Bowl? What you want to see?
So I don't have a dog in this hunt.
Yeah.
I'm a Buccaneer fan. I do want to see a good game, but in the end, I do want to see Saquon Barkley do well, which means probably leaning towards Philadelphia winning because and that dude fought back from some injuries.
Yeah.
He fought back from the Giants thinking he wasn't worth keeping, and they thought so less of him that they let him go to a team that's in their division.
Yeah.
Maybe if he had went to the AFC, that's different. But he not only went to an NFC team, he went to the same team in his division. And it's like, I just want to see him do well. Seems like a quality individual. You know what I mean? He's breaking some NFL records.
You're right.
Along the way to having this season. So I think he's just having a great regular season, and the playoff run that he's on in the fashion to win the game. So yeah, I like to see the Eagles. Who do you have?
Look, well, before I answer that question, how would you feel if Mahomes won a third Super Bowl in a row? What would be your thoughts on that accomplishment?
generational.
Yeah.
Like he's a winner.
Yeah.
He's just a winner. It's like if you and I had $100 left in our pocket and we had to bet on one of these quarterbacks winning the game, guess which one we're probably going to go with?
Mahomes.
Even more than that, if the game is on the line and there's a minute and a half left in the game, and you got $100 in your pocket and Mahomes has the ball, are you going to bet on him or bet against him?
Well, history has told me, or from other dude, I better put that $100 on Mahomes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you got a better chance. You got a better chance of doubling your money if you put it on Mahomes. Not taking anything from from Hurst. He just hadn't done it yet. Mahomes had done it 3 times. He's been 4 and got 3, and now he's about to get 3 in a row potentially. So but no, yeah, I mean that's a good way of posing that question and posing a response from somebody.
Hey, Coach, here's another one for you. If Mahomes was with the Steelers or he was with the Lions, he would not be the same player he is now.
You don't think?
He went to the right coach, and that coach that he went to is somebody that developed his game over years worth of time. And so it's like when kids are picking a school, don't just pick the school that has the marquee name.
Right.
Pick the school that's like gonna to be the school that you need to go to graduate from.
Well, a school that fits you, a school that
have sought out a relationship with you.
Yeah.
Like I assume that the relationship between Mahomes and Coach Reed is like something special.
Yeah.
It's like he went to the right team. He went to the right head coach, and he developed. I don't know if he develops if he's somewhere else. If he's with the Airnos.
Yeah. You're right.
He doesn't develop like he should.
Well,
you know what else is ironic?
You're going to come over here.
How many QBs got picked before Mahomes in the draft?
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, with you saying that, then that just do Andy Reid and his staff, or whoever he has around him, has done a hell of a job of evaluating talent that their system, right, that fits their system. Yeah. Your other brother was trying to say something.
Yeah. No. I just
no, man, get on the thing, man. Don't get me
no. Pat, I'm gonna again. I do want to add this to what have you, and it goes back to what y'all were just saying earlier. What have you? I do think Mahomes would have developed and been as good of a quarterback. Would he have many Super Bowls? Maybe not. But I do believe he would have developed and still been one of the best quarterbacks because again, Alex Smith. I just actually saw Alex Smith yesterday, and Alex Smith said one of the things that people do not talk about enough. Everybody talks about his talent, how he can throw the ball differently. He said, but what people don't understand is the film rat that he is, the workaholic that he is. He said, you never hear people talk about that. He said, but from the time he came in as a rookie, he saw that this young man was going to be great because he spends the time, he watches film. I would beg to say that not only did he actually wind up with the right team, I would say this, they ended up getting the right guy. And I say the same thing about Tom Brady. Everybody always said Tom Brady was in the system, it was Belichick and so on and so forth. But again, you saw what Tom Brady did when he came to Tampa. And we were the better for it. It's because the preparation, y'all have already been talking about it. The preparation that the great guys put in is what makes them great. You put them in any team setting, you put them anywhere, what have you. They're going to get the best out of their talent no matter what. And that's what you get from those great guys who do the great work. So I do believe Patrick Mahomes would have been as good of a quarterback as he is right now. Maybe he may not have as many Super Bowls because you will know it's a team effort. But I do believe he would be as good of a quarterback as he is right now because he's willing to put in the work.
Well, yeah. I mean,
so I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to say that that's a good point. That makes a lot of sense because of who the player is and Patrick Mahomes
I was in, Jeff.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah. So
So my thing was, I was going to disagree with you vehemently, but you know what? I look at it and I take a step back. You're right. I think the biggest difference is he would have been successful. He just probably wouldn't have the Super Bowls
yeah.
that he has now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you know, he's a special guy, and so he still would have probably been able to put up some numbers, been able to do some things. He just probably wouldn't have had the number of Super Bowl wins or visits that he has had now. So I agree with you.
And who does that sound? What player in the past that we got to see growing up sounds who that sounds like? Dan Marino. Dan Marino put up some hellified numbers. Now, you know, Mahomes might put up some better ones, but we know everybody, you know, and Marino came in. Was it his rookie year he went to the Super Bowl? His rookie? It was either his rookie year or his sophomore year. You know, Marino, but that's
it was his rookie season.
Right. But that sounds like what we're saying sounds like Marino if he would have gone to another team, you know, because of their work ethic. They were still going to be who they're going to be, you know, but because of the system, you know, that he was able to get under, that the Kansas City Chiefs did a good job of evaluating talent of a young man. And I'm sure they probably didn't know he was going to be this good, but they just figured maybe, you know, Reed probably figured like, hey, this is a kid that I've evaluated. I think that I can do something with. Right, you know.
Well, actually, it was the general manager.
Well, the general manager. That's right. Yeah, right. Yeah, to convince Reed. Yeah. So I said either him or you know his people. You know, but that sounds like a Dan Marino type player to me. Because you know, but Tom Brady too, because Tom came in with a mindset that was just totally different for somebody who, you know how bad his body looked. You know, he didn't look the part. You know, kind of lanky. You know, didn't have that muscle tone and all the other stuff, you know, but he was a baller, right? You know, he loved the game. He loved everything about the game, that study part. That's what I'm saying. I did a podcast. Let me just say this again. You know, I shared this was another little nugget, you know, and y'all need to understand we dropping nuggets. I got my big brothers here. So now y'all see why, you know, I am who I am with my older brothers and, you know, and having my father around for the time period that we were blessed to have him around. You know, about having that work ethic, you know, because as a running back, I know my dad used to always tell me about, you know, you need to make sure you have great vision, you know, have good vision and know what, you know, you got to see it happening before it happens. And that's because of your preparation. But I said this on a podcast recently is just because you love something don't mean you like everything about something you love. And I said how me and my wife, we love each other. We may not like everything about each other. We've grown to like some things about each other. But when we first got married, we didn't like everything. You know, when we first get married, we all in the clouds. So we, you know, until the really real hit you about 2-3 years down the road, then you start waking up like this joker here is or for one another. You learn how to deal with things, you know, that you may not always like until, you know, hey, we're both working on each other, you know, to be better. So there's some things about football or sport that I love the sport. Did I like getting up every morning at 4 or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock? No, I ain't always like it, but I knew it was something that I had to get. I had to learn how to like a little bit more, right? Because I understood how it was going to develop me and take me to another level where it took me from, you know, my big brother here who was just here with me was a Division II #1 receiver in yards your senior year. You know, you played, you know, I said before everybody talked about Travis Hunter, you know, big brother here was Travis Hunter. He went both ways when he was in college, playing DB and wide receiver and led the nation in Division II and got himself an opportunity to play NFL. And so I took what I saw him doing, learned that because, you know, you may not like everything about something you love, but you learn to like it because you see the benefit in it, right? I've learned to like some things about my wife because I see the benefit of some stuff when I'm a knucklehead that if I didn't have a wife that looked out for me in certain things, I may not be where I am and vice versa, you know. So you have these things that you have to learn how to like about it because you realize it's going to make you a better person, better athlete, whatever it is that you're involved in. So that's why, you know, I tell people like I said, doing things in excellence means you give room for making mistakes and you correct the mistakes. Watching film, whatever the case may need to be done, you're aware, hey, I need to make some corrections, and I figured out how to make corrections. And same thing when I love a sport. I mean, I like everything about it. I mean, I like going to the weight room, but I got to get my butt in the weight room and get the grind if I want to become the player that I want to be. And so that's why I say, where you got to learn how to compete with yourself. Sometimes you got to talk to yourself and make yourself get up in the morning and make yourself go to the weight room, or, go get that grind, put that grind in, get the grades that you need to get to make sure you get yourself an opportunity to get, to get a scholarship. So for you guys that's joining me on my YouTube live or my Facebook live and my IG, you hear with Coach Smith and his big brothers. We're just dropping some nuggets, some diamonds on you all about what we bring to the table with Love the Game 24/7. So I'm thankful to have them on the show as we get ready for the Super Bowl tomorrow to talk a little bit about it. So what you having? Oh, I didn't answer the question. Who I have tomorrow? Like you said, my Buccaneers aren't in it. So it would be great. Either way, it'd be great to see if Patrick Mahomes could win 3 in a row. That would be just crazy, but I'm probably more leaning towards Eagles because I would like to see Hurst get him a Super Bowl, because I think it makes more for the league, because you got Lamar. I'm hoping Lamar eventually get him one. If Hurst can get him one, I'd love to see Saquon get him one, because like you said earlier about how the Giants just kind of like turned, really wasn't sold on him, and then he goes and does what he does this year and gets to the Super Bowl. Now I don't know if he'd have had a year like this with the Giants, as bad as they were. I don't think he could have had a good year, but they still may not have gotten to the Super Bowl. But yeah. So
but he right again. You know how we talk about he's with the right team. He's with the right team now. One of the best offensive lines in the NFL.
Yeah.
And he's rewarded those lines by the way that he's run. If you ever go back and look at highlights, there are times that he doesn't get touched.
Right. Oh yeah. Right.
Somebody's near him until he's at the second level.
Second, third level. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's a great offensive line blocking for him, and he knows how to finish off plays. When he needs to get tough yard, he gets them. When I've never seen a man jump backwards.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Go ahead.
Just never seen that before.
Yeah. I mean, just his off the charts. I was just gonna say, the other thing that's concerning me about the game is because of how good that line run blocks, and he's able to take it 30, 40, or 60 yards, they might score too fast. You know what I mean? Because usually you run the ball to kill. We're gonna score 50-something points.
Philly's talented. They got some weapons.
No, I know they do, but I'm just saying.
You can't slow down and take on.
Right.
Yeah.
So hear what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying now. The run game is supposed to eat up the clock.
Yeah.
But they might not eat up the clock, and if you get the ball back to Pat Mahomes.
But if they get out in front of Kansas City and Kansas City has to play catch up, then they play into the hands of Philadelphia's defense. And that ice would be the best scenario for
right.
If it's back and back and it's a close game throughout the game, it's Mahomes.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If Philly can get out ahead, like you said, maybe even a 2-score game, 10 or 14 points. Because like I said, if Saquon can have his way, they might score too fast in the run game.
Well, that's
something to think about. Hey, Coach, I'm gonna tap out on you right now.
All right, tap on out. All right.
We'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll talk tomorrow. I might go live again for a little bit. What food you having tomorrow? What you doing?
I ain't really not got anything going on, man. Just kind of like chilling tomorrow, laying low. Don't really have anything. My brother's out of town, so we can't really fire up the grill that I like to be able to do. So
he's up here.
Probably just laying low, man. What y'all having?
Oh, I'm gonna have some brothers over from the church. The wife is going out of town for, she got to go on a business work trip this week. So I got to get up early in the morning, make sure she gets off safe, and but yeah, we got wings, you're gonna have the wings, the pizza,
Right.
I'm gonna have some healthy stuff because I'm trying to make sure I'm right. I got my salad, I got my salad, the wife, then she didn't got the place all prepared. Yeah, the fruit tray. We're gonna have some meatballs, ribs. Yeah, ribs. Yeah, we're gonna have, but like I said, I can smell the grill. I can smell the grills being lit up right now back in the crib in Florida. You know how we do, and I'm sure I'm gonna smell some tomorrow, in the neighborhood, because every now and then I can smell people getting it lit up around here too sometimes. So we'll see what happens. But I'll probably go live for a minute so I can let folks see what the variety we're gonna have, for the Super Bowl before it gets kicked off. Because once it get kicked off, I'm shutting down the live so I can be focused. But let me go and let you tap on out.
Yep.
All right.
Enjoy yourself. Love y'all, man.
All right.
Be safe.
All right.
Love you, bro.
Love you, big bro.
All right.
All right. Let me see if I can get Coach Harvey on sign on since you signed out on me. You know how to
Yes.
all right. I don't know if Big Harvey is still on there, but I want to get him on here, but I saw him signed on, but yeah, like I said, that